Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. I wanted to do a quick video, and it's pretty much after a song that I really admire by the Hoppers, who's a Christian quartet. And this was Carly Hopper's first solo with the group, who's a daughter of the Cloppers. She's probably close to 30 now, but she was probably around 14 at the time. But I wanted to play the song quickly for you. Is a, eh, let's see if I can get it. Hold on 1 second, guys. Um, I just had to be able to get it back up. I kind of turned the volume down. Let me see if I could. Whoops. Um, let's see if I could do it this way. Let's see. I might have to start over if I can't get it. Let's see. Well, let me just see if I can get this going here. Um, and then we could go from there. See.
We did a song on the new album written by Mr. Rodney Griffin. He helped write this song by a gentleman from out in Missouri who had trouble. He had twins that were born, and one had some problems. He didn't understand why. He got pretty angry with life and God. I already knew about your problem. It's like it didn't take me by surprise. But here's a song that he put together. Carly sang.
Please listen, guys.
Album. It's called God Already Knew. Maybe you're facing something tonight. You know what? He knows about it. Before he promised him a child, God looked at Abraham and smiled. God already with Isaac on the altar laid, God knew he'd spare his life that day. God already knew. Trust the heart of Jesus when the sun will not break through. And when taken by surprise, know that God already knew. God already knew. Before he heard his sisters cry, God knew that Lazarus would rise. God already. And before he healed that crippled man, God knew that he would walk again. God already. Before your heart was made to break, God knew that he would make a way. God already knew. And before you face tomorrow's task, God sees it all as in the past. God already knew. Trust the heart of Jesus when the sun will not break through. And when taken by surprise, know that God already knew. God already knew. already knew.
I really enjoy listening to that songs. And I never was into quartet music, but when I ran across the Hoppers, I can't stop listening to them. It's a family that's been around for 70 years, I think now they said. Hopper was the one that was with the original quartet. He's probably in his 80s now, and his wife, Connie. Then their son, Dean, and his wife. That's Carly's mother. They also have another daughter that sings, I think, more country music. But I was really inspired by their music, and I listen to it when I'm feeling down because if we look at it, God already knew our circumstances, what was going to happen, how people were going to react to us, and I just sometimes just sit here and listen to YouTube, Michael W. Smith, C.C. Winan, um, Linda Randall, and just so many of them to get uplifted. Um, they all have one thing in common, including Larry Gatlin and Oak Ridge Boys. They do a lot of videos and concerts with Gaither music. So I get uplifted that way. Besides reading my Bible in the morning, because no matter how much we apologize, how much we feel bad about things, how much we wanted to change what happened in the past, that can't be done. Only God can forgive for sure. But if we don't learn how to forgive, God can't forgive us. It says that right in the Lord's Prayer. And in 1 John 1:9, it says, He is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and cleanse us from all unrighteousness. And we're to be more like Christ. We can't be exactly like Him because we're human, but we're to be more like Him. For many years, I was doing things the wrong way. I was a victim of sexual abuse. A lot of people don't know. I don't go around talking about that, but I share my testimony on how God changed my life. Um, I started getting in trouble at the age of 13. I remember the police coming over to talk to my dad, um, and I was probably 13 or 14 years old, and that was the first time. My case was a public indecency case, nothing more than that. But society wants to accuse me of all these other things that never did happen, or say, well, it might have happened if you weren't caught. Well, that was never my thing of physical nature. But what I did was very wrong, and I know God has forgiven me because He promises that. And every day I walk up, you know, I pray for, you know, people that I hurt. I pray for those in prison. I pray for those in nursing homes, hospitals, our community. And with all the wrong things I did, that it's about time I give back to our community. And I prayed about this in 2020. Some of you may know I was taken to the hospital for a stroke, and when I went there, they gave me a scan with contrast dye, which caused me to code twice and have two strokes. And they didn't expect me to make it, but by the power of God, I did pull through. I could not walk at all at the beginning. It took a lot of practice to be able to walk again and get some motor skills back. I didn't get it all back, but I got a big portion of it back. But I had a chaplain up there that kept coming in to see me. He said, I've been listening to your videos for years. And I couldn't think about which videos he was listening to. But he said he listened to one on my testimony and about some of the people that we interviewed. And he said, God's got a purpose for your life. You may not know what it is yet, but He has a purpose for your life. Sometimes I wonder what that purpose was. I do believe. I do believe Um, I do believe that um, he has a purpose, and I believe that it is to work in the community somewhat and help people, and unite the communities together against crime. If we work with these people coming out of prison with reentry, show them that we care, hook them up with the right resources, that's going to cut down on crime. There's going to be some that always come out that will reoffend, but those that's done so much time usually aren't the ones. The ones that are reoffending usually are those doing 2 years or less. And a lot of them are drug related offenses, BNE, stuff like that. Uh, but those that's been down for many, many years are least likely to return. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it doesn't happen as often. And our prayers is that they don't reoffend. I have so many good friends. I have a friend that I think he did 25 years. He's been out about 5 years now. He bought a brand new car. He bought a house. He's doing extremely well. He lives in the Marion County. So I'm proud of him. And, I have another guy that lives in Cleveland that's been out probably a little bit less than that, but is doing extremely well. But the news media will come after us even if we're doing okay. They want to put fear in the public. Like some of you may remember a few years ago, a news broadcast came after me because we had a bill that probably would have been introduced and passed because we did have a sponsor. And there was a couple of groups that had so much fear that if this bill passes, it will hurt their cause about keeping people locked up way beyond their time. So the news came after me. They contacted me on Facebook, said, "Well, we want to interview you over your bill." So I took him for his word, because I never thought a news broadcaster would lie like that. So as soon as it came down, he interviewed a few other people, and I guess he came from the right center, and I didn't really pay attention. So he called me back and started interviewing. He said, "We're here to talk about your past." And right there, I froze up. I don't even know what I said. He caught me off guard. My sugar was dropping real bad. I sent somebody over to get me something to eat across the street. And I just froze because I could not believe what he did. And um, you know, the people that was out there protesting with us knew me personally, so most of them had respect for me. But there was a couple of people that dissolved their friendships with me because of my past, and that's okay because their friendship is really not that important. It's on how I react to what is happening and how people are today. I will personally never go up to somebody and judge them, bash them. Um, I'll shake their hands when they come home. I'll let them know we're praying for them, and I hope they succeed. But I'm very careful who I associate with because people do have to prove themselves to me before um, I can actually, hang out with them or anything like that. I've had a few over my house for cookouts. I had a lot of fun. I talk to some on the phone periodically. And it's very lonely when you come out of prison. Things have changed. If we don't have the churches behind us, if we don't have people in society that will welcome people home, it can be very scary for the individual coming home. You figure when you got locked up, small trees were small, people were younger. Um, there was white wall tires. I know that when I came out, there was no more white wall tires. Um, Things just have changed. You're afraid to walk in the store. You're afraid to cross the street. You're afraid to take a walk. And I always suggest to people, go in the buddy system. Go with somebody else to the store. You don't have to go by yourself. You know, um, Go to church is one of my biggest things. Church is very important. And we know with God's help, people can overcome. Go to a Bible believing church, one that pleads the blood of Christ, and lets people know if they don't accept Christ, the only other place they can't go is hell. A lot of people don't want to hear that, and a lot of churches have gone away from preaching about hell. But I think it's important to bring it back because there's only two places you can go, heaven or hell. And for those that don't believe in hell, I would really consider reading the Bible and believing and putting your faith in Christ. Then you'll know the truth. And I do have a lot of friends from all different faiths, and they know where I stand on my faith. And I don't, push mine on them, but I share my faith with them. And then it's up to them what they do with it. I was fortunate. I was raised in a Christian home where the Bible was taught, where God was the forefront of our family. My dad was involved in local politics. My mom stayed home. Um, she took us to Bible school. My parents went to church every Sunday. I don't recall my dad ever missing a Sunday that I can remember, or even work much. He went to work when he was sick. You don't see that many time that much these days. But it's so important that people know the truth. Society wants to believe the worst on us. Some churches do. I've taken people to different churches, and there's churches that said, "Do you guys mind leaving? We don't feel comfortable with you at this church." And the church is supposed to be for sinners. It's a sanctuary for those that have a lot of faults, people that need to come closer to Christ. Because there's nobody perfect, everyone. There's not one person perfect except the one that died on the cross. And he died on the cross so we would not have to die with such a punishment and such a horrible death as he did. When I was in the hospital in 2020, and I shared this with so many people, I died twice. They had to give me CPR 2 different times. And the one time I died, there was two doors in the ceiling. One was over to the left, that was a red, like square door. The other one was on the right. That was a pinkish white radiant door in a heart shape. That door opened up, and I went right in the door, and the guy handed me a piece of paper that said righteousness. And I know this was heaven, guys. I know this was heaven. Um, and I asked, and I was wrapped up in the city of Oman, Oman. And I asked him, I said, "Where's the house of many mansions?" Not sure why. That was one of the first things I asked. He said, "It's 20 miles up the road in Omar." Mind you, there's no cars on it. There's a beautiful, beautiful street. Not a tire mark on it, no trash. The sky is no clouds in it. But it was beautiful. And I didn't have my cane or walker with me. I didn't make it that far. I was returned back to work. Then I remember another time it was like I was in a wall. And I heard my one sister talking, and my other sister I saw sitting on a chair by a table. Um, so I do believe you'll be able to see people from Earth possibly or hear them. But it was such an exciting moment. I did not want to come back. I wanted to stay where I was. And you know, but when I did come back, I made all these promises with God. I broke a lot of them, mind you. Um, I started calling people on the phone, apologizing to them. Um, I called so many good people too, and apologized to them too, even if maybe I didn't do anything wrong because I wasn't sure. But it was unique, and I did not want to come back. I know where I'm going to go when I die, but my work is not finished here on Earth. Obviously, sometimes I'm still wondering what what I am supposed to do. I do believe it is to be involved in community advocating, bringing the communities together. Um, but the community also has to be willing to accept me and allow God to work in the communities. During this last um, fair with Hope for the Community. One of the guys that helped organize it, is a Christian, and he really inspired me um, because I knew his love for God was real. Crossroads was there as well, and their love for God is real. So there's so many good churches that we can get involved in. One is in the Bottoms in Columbus called Crossroads, and I encourage people to attend it. The church services are at 11 or 11:30 every Sunday morning. Pastor Corey is the pastor there, and I know you'll love him. There's a couple other pastors that help out with that church. But get involved in a church. Start praying. Start praying for others instead of bashing them, and see how good that turns out. Because you're going to be blessed too in the long run. Um, Everybody, I am really excited about the opportunities that God's going to give us, and that God will stand by our side. But we have to allow and we have to be willing to listen, everyone. Folks, you have yourself a great day, and thank you so much for joining us.